Am I the only person that just realized, like, right now, that Josh Duhamel and Eric Dane are two different people? Two completely different actors. Anytime I had seen either one of them in any movie, I always thought, that's the dude from Transformers. Now I know sometimes it's not. So I just got to see Bad Boys Ride or Die. I'm a little bit late on this, about a week late. It's because I was on vacation. I'm sorry, I can't see everything when I'm away, but I finally got to see it today. It is the fourth movie in the Bad Boys franchise. The franchise started by Michael Bay, and this one is not directed by Michael Bay, although sometimes it feels like it is. It's directed by Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah. Sorry if I'm pronouncing either one of those names wrong, but these are the guys that directed the last one. They also directed Batgirl, the amazing film that none of us have seen, and nor will we ever see, because Warner Brothers decided to lock it away in an unbreakable vault. And as I said, they directed the last movie, Bad Boys for Life, which came out in 2020 and was a surprise hit. People really loved it. It was kind of the resurrection of this franchise that had been kind of dormant for about 20 years. I'm gonna be honest, I am not the biggest fan of this franchise. I think the first movie is one of Michael Bay's worst. The second one's fine. The newest one from a couple years ago, I enjoyed. This one, though, I don't have too much to say about it. I really don't. I'm gonna try to make this review nice and long for you guys, but I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was okay, and there's just not a lot to talk about here. What is Bad Boys Ride or Die? Well, it is another movie starring these two characters. Mike and Marcus, these two detectives in Miami that are good friends. They're best friends, actually, and they're partners, and they go and they fight crime. Now, this movie takes a little bit of a twist in the story with these two. Instead of just investigating a crime, they are now on the run. There is a weird conspiracy amongst the police force. There are some corrupt cops, some corrupt FBI people, a corrupt mayor, perhaps, and just a bunch of shit going on with a main bad guy played by, yet again, Eric Dane, not the dude from Transformers, who is just this threatening, badass villain, very standard, one-dimensional, but very badass, and they have to kind of unravel this mystery and this conspiracy and beat the bad guys and make you laugh a lot, because that's what these movies do best, is they make you laugh and they deliver some good action. So what does this movie do right? Well, it makes you laugh, and it has good action. Those two things this movie hits on. This movie is relatively funny. I think the opening of this movie is by far the funniest part of the film, which definitely is kind of a detriment to it, but the movie does deliver some good laughs throughout its entire runtime. I was laughing. My theater was laughing. It's a funny movie. Some people will find it really funny. I'm sure other people, because comedy's subjective, just won't laugh at all. The action here is also cool and great and unique, and it's mainly because the directors here definitely tried to do interesting stuff with the camera. There's a lot of really quick cuts of, like, they'll shoot, like, this weird hydro cannon, and the camera will fly with the cannon over to the bad guys as it explodes. Just, like, little things like that that happen throughout the plot. You, of course, had those great POV shots that Will Smith posted, like, a behind-the-scenes of. I thought that whole sequence was really cool and unique. I'd never really seen anything like that, where it was going from POV to kind of, you know, second person looking directly at the character's face. That was unique. It's brutal, it's punchy. Sometimes the shaky cam is a little much. There are a lot of scenes in this movie where it feels like they dropped the camera into a blender and it was just going and going, and my head started to hurt, and that was not fun. But the action's fine enough. If you're somebody that just enjoys action movies, this is one that you will enjoy. It's fun, it's entertaining. The story? Don't have much to say here. There's really just not much going on. With the two characters, the one thing I will say, both of them do a great job. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, of course, amazing, amazing actors. I'm not going to talk about the Will Smith slap in this video. We'll ignore the elephant in the room. I'll let you guys judge whether Will Smith should have been forgiven so quickly. But I've always loved Will Smith as an actor. He does great in pretty much every movie he's in, especially when it comes to comedic roles. He delivers comedy and charisma in a way that not many other people can. And Martin Lawrence just kind of contrasts that energy from Will Smith in such a fun way. His character is definitely the heart of this film, kind of this character who's going through this epiphany in life because he had a near-death experience, and it's just so fun to watch throughout the whole thing. There's a sequence with an alligator that I thought was hilarious. So when the stuff is just kind of like this character piece of these two old cops just kind of coming to terms with the fact that they're not invincible, I enjoyed that. That's fine. The overall plot, nothing really here to get excited about. Just gonna be honest. Did not hook me. I did not care. I've already forgotten a lot about it. But just the base character stuff here is fun enough, and if you like these characters from the other movies, you'll like them here. Some stuff that I didn't particularly love about the movie. First things first, the edit. This movie has one of the most, I don't want to say annoying, but just mind-bendingly weird edits I've ever seen, and that's where I kind of come back and say this movie felt like a Michael Bay film. The Michael Bay films, if you ever watch any of his movies, especially the Transformers ones, their edits are so insane. They're edited almost like a music video, where it's just, the whole thing feels like a sequence. It doesn't feel like a movie, it feels like one long sequence. And there's other directors that do this in their filmmaking, and it works. Very much Christopher Nolan, that's pretty much how every one of his movies work. They're just kind of like these long sequences. That's why you'll have one conversation with Oppenheimer talking to somebody in this location, and then the conversation's continued into a completely different location on a different day, but it's like one scene. That's something that Nolan does. That's something that happens in this film a lot, and the edit is just, I don't want to say it's exhausting, but it's just not my cup of tea. It's crazy. It's like not focused very much, and there's just so many cuts and so much choppiness, especially in the action scenes, that it kind of takes me personally out of it. I also don't love the father-son arc here. I don't feel it. I don't enjoy it. I'm not going to get really too into it because I don't want to spoil it, but just did nothing for me. I think the plot, very much where it goes, is extraordinarily predictable. You could see exactly where this story is going to go from the start. I feel like this film was on the brink of taking more risks, doing stuff a little bit bigger with its characters and with the world of this story and with the Bad Boys franchise, but it just kind of held itself back because, of course, they want to make more Bad Boys movies. They don't want this to be, they don't want to do anything kind of final in these films. And why would they? I mean, this film's already made $200 million or something crazy like that, which good for them. It's good for them because, god damn it, the box office this year needed it. We've had so many bombs, and you know what? Although this is not the movie that I wish did well, I wish Furiosa did well, it's still good to see the box office kicking ass, and you have Inside Out 2, which is also kicking ass. I'll have the review out for that in a couple days. Stay tuned. Still haven't seen it. I'm behind, guys. But I just wish the plot of this movie was a little bit less predictable and just kind of took turns that just kind of diverted from your typical action movie. This is like the most standard action movie plot you'll ever get. I mean, an AI could have written this story. It's just basic Hollywood commercialized nonsense that you usually get. You've seen it a billion times before, which yet again, like I said before, the sell of this movie are the actors and the characters. And if you dig the actors and the characters, you're gonna dig this. It feels like a Kevin Hart movie, and you know what I mean by that? If you ever seen any Kevin Hart movie, he makes buddy cop movies with like every other big actor in Hollywood. And if you like them, and you like those styles of movies, and you've seen those styles of movies, and you say, I want more of that, well, you got this one, but instead of Kevin Hart, you have Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. If you like it, you're gonna love this one. If you like the other three Bad Boys, you're gonna love this one as well. Another thing that kind of annoyed me about this movie, and I don't remember if she was in the last one, I might just be forgetting, but I audibly cheered in my seat, awkwardly in front of the entire theater of people, when Kim Wexler walked into this thing. It was just so nice to see her in a movie. That's, you know, it's just nice to see. She's awesome. And when she walked in, I got so excited. I was like, oh my god, fucking Kim? Holy shit, this is gonna be crazy. And then she really doesn't have anything to do in this movie, and that sucks. Oh, I miss Better Call Saul, guys. Don't watch Better Call Saul. It's better than Bad Boys. So how do I rate Bad Boys Ride or Die? Now, this is a movie that a lot of people are going to find to be a 4. A lot of people are going to find it very entertaining. Clearly, it's doing super, super well. I personally, I'm going to give it a little bit lower than that, just my personal enjoyment of the film. I will give Bad Boys Ride or Die a 2.5 out of 5. I think it's right in the middle. It's a standard movie. It's a little bit better than a 2, but I don't think it's good or great or anything like that. But you might enjoy it. I recommend going to see it, especially if you're just somebody who's a casual movie watcher, just want to go watch a fun action film. Probably dig this one. But you should have seen Furiosa. The fact that Furiosa bombed and this movie is doing super well. What the hell, Hollywood? What the hell, all of you? You're spending your money on Bad Boys? Like, there's like 3 of them, and they're good, they're fine, but Furiosa was so good, it's a masterpiece. You fools, you're wasting your money on stupid movies. This movie's not stupid, but it's not Furiosa. All right, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, go away, enjoy your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.